friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Woman gives birth on plane with help of a flight attendant. Written by Julie Provost, read by Julie Provost. Planning where you want to give birth is a milestone and become pregnant. You imagine the room, your doctor, or your midwife. You probably hope that you don't have to give birth somewhere else, but that can happen as it did to a mom named Nadeye. She ended up giving birth on a plane. The flight had just taken off from Dakar, Senegal, and headed to Brussels when Nadeye, a pregnant passenger on the Brussels Airlines flight, alerted the crew and let them know that she was in severe pain. According to Motherly, a flight attendant, Jennifer Doyle, asked the passengers if anyone could help the pregnant passenger. A doctor and a 22-year-old nurse who had just graduated stepped up to help the mom after her water broke. The pilots were able to turn the plane around to go back to Dakar, but babies come when babies come. It was tense at first, as the LinkedIn post from Brussels Airlines shared. And then the most beautiful sound filled the cabin, her first cry. A doctor on board confirmed she was healthy and relief washed over everyone. The post read, "What a beautiful sound, a baby being born." As the plane landed, Jennifer held the baby named Fanta. Brussels Airlines posted a photo of Jennifer and the baby. "Welcome to the world, little Fanta. We hope to have you on board again one day," the caption shared. As a cabin crew member, you train for everything, even childbirth. But nothing prepares you for the real thing, Jennifer shares. But we stayed calm, worked as a team, and followed our procedures. It was magical. If I hadn't become a cabin crew member, I think I would have been a midwife. Seeing people come together to help her deliver her baby in an unusual place is quite a blessing. We are thankful God was there, watching out for everyone and bringing Fanta into the world safely. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. Hebrews 13:2.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than just money. We help you put your plans into motion and faith into action so you can do more for the ones in your heart. Because sometimes all you need to make a difference is someone to help you make it happen. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
There's no place like Israel, rich in history, culture, and spiritual significance. From walking through ancient Jerusalem to floating in the Dead Sea or experiencing Tel Aviv's modern energy, it's a destination like no other. While I haven't visited yet, I've heard how life-changing it is. Now more than ever, we stand with Israel and pray for peace. I look forward to exploring its beauty one day. Learn more at goisrael.com.
After 84 years of marriage, this couple just broke a record and shares some great advice. Written by Heather Rickleman, read by Julie Provost. After 84 years of marriage, this couple broke a record and shared some great advice. 84 years, a lifetime wrapped in love and faith in the ordinary moments of togetherness that have stretched nearly 9 decades. When Manuel Angelim Dino, 105, and Maria de Souza Dino, 101, held hands on their wedding day in November of 1940, they never could have imagined that one day the world would marvel at the love story that they were writing, day by day, season by season, and prayer by prayer. Now crowned with the Guinness World Record for the longest living marriage, they don't talk about grand gestures or extravagant declarations of love. They talk about faithfulness, patience, and listening to the word together in the evening. The sound of the radio filling the quiet of their home as their fingers rest near one another, worn but steady. And when asked about the secret to all these years, Maria doesn't hesitate. She doesn't list a dozen rules or recount struggles. Instead, she smiles, tilts her head just slightly, and says, "It is if it's the simplest thing in the world. Love." Their story began in the fields of Ceará, Brazil, under a sun that saw the first flicker of their love before anyone else did. Manuel was just a young man collecting rapaturas, traditional Brazilian sugarcane candy, when he first laid eyes on Maria. It would take years before their paths crossed again, but when they did, Manuel knew. He knew to win her family's approval, not with words but with actions, laying bricks for the home he dreamed of sharing with her, proving with his hands what his heart already knew. Love, he showed, is something you build. Together they work the land, raising crops and children, cultivating not just fields but a life. 13 children, 55 grandchildren, 60 great-grandchildren, and 14 great-great-grandchildren later, their legacy stands taller than any house ever built. But love isn't just found in the grand numbers or milestones. It's found in the quiet rituals, in the slow, steady faithfulness of everyday life. Even now at 101, Maria still smiles at her husband the way she did when she was just a young bride of 17. Even now at 105, Manuel still rises in the evening, steadying himself for their sacred routine of prayer. So what is the secret to 84 years? It isn't complicated. It isn't something only a few find. Patience, Maria says, faith, and then softly again, love. Not the kind that wavers when the storm comes, not the kind that demands perfection, but the kind that stays, that holds on, that chooses to sit beside each other at the end of each day, listening to the Bible, listening to life, listening to the sound of their hearts beating still together. 1 Corinthians 13, 7-8. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than just money. We help you put your plans into motion and faith into action so you can do more for the ones in your heart. Because sometimes all you need to make a difference is someone to help you make it happen. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.